All right, so we're going to talk about lighting in this section again. And this time, instead of talking about the types of lights that we want to use, we're going to talk about how long we should be using them and how close they should be to the plants and everything like that. So we'll start out by talking about how close you should have those lights to the plants. And you've heard me say this a million times in this video, and so it must be important, okay? You need to make sure that you keep those lights close to your seedlings, especially when they're starting out. Get those lights within an inch of the seedlings and then raise them up as you go. If you do that, and if you keep the seedlings, you don't want them touching the lights. You want to keep it up high enough that they're not touching the lights. But if you do that and you keep that light close and you have plenty of light, if you're trying to grow a full tray wide of seedlings, you might want to have 2 sets of lights so that you've got a total of 4 bulbs. That'll just give you so much more light. Light is one of the most important things, and having that light close to the plants will prevent all kinds of problems. It'll give you nice, stocky, solid plants that'll transplant really well in the garden. And so I can't stress how important that is. And you'll know as you watch this video, I probably mentioned that 8 or 10 times. Keep those lights close to your plants, but not touching the plants. And that is the key. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about in this section is how long you should leave the lights on. So the recommended length is somewhere between 14 and 16 hours a day. So we're trying to convince your seedlings that it's really summertime. Even if it's in spring or whatever, we want to go ahead and give them as much sunlight as they would get in the middle of the summer. Now, they do need some dark time, so don't leave your lights on all the time. But I try and run mine. I set my timer and I run them from 6 a.m. in the morning until 10 p.m. at night. So that gives them a solid 16 hours. And it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to coincide with the day. It can just, the lights could be on at night or whatever you want to do. But they need to be on for 14 to 16 hours a day. And I set mine for 16 hours and give them that maximum amount. And then they get 8 hours of dark. And I do the dark at the nighttime so that it's actually real dark. So that's really all we need to talk about in this section, is just make sure your lights are close and that they're on for 16 hours a day, and you should be good to go.